Hi everyone, Anna here again talking about cancer, the other C word. This time I want to share with you a little bit of the financial piece of this because it's extremely stressful, it's very burdensome, and it's bad enough that you're, battling cancer to have to do it and be completely humiliated every time you go for an appointment because you don't have the money to reach your deductible. It's really frustrating at best, and it's really sad. So I found out after my diagnosis that our out-of-pocket cost annually for our insurance is $17,600. I don't know about most people, but I know we don't have $17,600 sitting around. We don't have $600 sitting around. So having to be burdened with coming up with that kind of money is extremely stressful. And they tell you about it everywhere you go. For instance, when I went in for my radiation appointment, now, mind you, radiation is 45-minute drive for me, and I had to have mine with a full bladder because of the location of my tumor. So I drove 45 minutes with a full bladder. I was told this was my first appointment prior to the appointment that I didn't need to worry about the full bladder. They would take me right back. So I get there, and a woman approaches me in the lobby when I went to check in and says, we need to figure out how you're going to pay for this. You owe $2,700 out of pocket that your insurance isn't going to cover. And so I'm standing in the lobby. There's people all around me, and I'm flabbergasted, honestly. I said, well, I don't have $2,700, and that's a life-saving procedure, so I need to get it done. What do I have to do? And at this point, she says, well, you have to pay this, or we need to come to a payment agreement. And I said, okay, well, we'll have to come to a payment arrangement because I don't have $2,700. So this went back and forth to the point where I was in tears. And finally, I told her all I can afford to pay right now is $25 a month. I said, I have other medical expenses. This is just a piece of this. Still paying on a surgical procedure my husband had. And I said, the economy stinks. I left corporate America 3 years ago. I just don't have extra money. So she got very frustrated, shoved a paper at me, told me to sign it, and then it would be $25 a month. So there you go. So then I, finally go back and get my first radiation treatment performed. But this was after sitting in the lobby for another 10 minutes crying. I cried the entire time I was there for my appointment. I cried during the administration of my radiation. And not once did anybody ask me how I was or if there was anything they could do. I did have a nurse hand me a box of tissues, but that was it. Not a lot of caring in healthcare anymore, in my opinion. So that was just the first of it. I had to go in for a scan, and I'm standing in the lobby of the hospital, and I'm told that my balance is $5,000, and am I prepared to pay that? And, of course I'm not. So you, in addition to dealing with the stress and the sadness, the depression that comes with the cancer diagnosis, you're also going to be dealing with the nonstop phone calls and the badgering to get your money. So prepare for that. I was told by my social worker that I could just send in $25 and tell them that's all I could pay. That's not quite the case. They sent it back and told me I need to pay $466 a month. It's just absolutely unbelievable to me that we live in a country where we have to beg for money to get basic health care. And that's where I am. My daughter had a fundraiser for me. I've had, GoFundMe links and my Venmo out there for people that know me that can help out a little bit. Every dollar helps. It all adds up. I'm still getting called almost nonstop by the hospital, the labs, the radiology, all of these places to get money. And so I just don't answer. I mean, what else do you do? It is not true that they will take whatever amount you send. They are very adamant about what you need to pay. And it's, I drive a 12-year-old car. I live in a very modest home. I'm not a fancy person. I can't afford to pay any more than 25 or 50 bucks a month. So that's where you are. That's something you need to prepare yourself for. They're going to hound you to death. to get their money. So be ready for it. If any of you watching want to contribute in any way, shape, or form, I will post the link to the GoFundMe as well as to my Venmo. And, it would be greatly appreciated. But the next segment I'm going to record and talk to you about is the radiation piece. That was probably my least, it was definitely the most stressful and the part where I felt the least amount of compassion in. So that'll be next. Anyway, thanks for watching.